Welcome everybody, good morning here on lichess and Twitch. International Master Sladgie. Players are much stronger these days, the 1400s especially. I agree, JCS. We haven't had a good simul where I came close to being undefeated in quite some time. I play this game with the Zen mode, where I try to guess who the players are in the Sunday simuls, and a little bit that takes away some of my time. I usually show who's who at about 55 minutes left or an hour left, but I've been running short of time in most of my simuls, and it should be enough time, so I really have to concentrate on trying to play a little faster earlier on, I think. I'm slowly drifting into time pressure. I could avoid it by playing quicker in the beginning of the simuls, but I'm just not really thinking about it till it sort of sneaks up on me. And then I guess last night's simul wasn't that brutal. The time pressure wasn't that brutal, but I was getting there. Arsenal fan, welcome. Good to see JCS. Mr. Coffee was here yesterday. Good to have our mods. Astrobate needs a little Benoni tutelage. Arsenal, we have to remind him to play g6 and bishop g7. That's the most important part of the modern Benoni Astrobate. After you play e6 and ed5, you have to play g6 and bishop to g7. Knight d7 is bad because it gets in the way of your bishop on c8, and you had to play another bad move, knight b6, in order to get your bishop in the game. And that's why knight bd7 isn't any good in the modern Benoni. Exactly what happened to you in the game. You had to play knight d7, knight b6 in order to just be able to move your bishop on c8. So that's not a good situation. The old Benoni. The old baloney. So, wasn't happy. I'm not happy with my performance lately. I need a vacation. Performance enhancing vacation. Both my Sunday play is not up to snuff. My simul play and my streamer battle play just hasn't really, I don't know. I think my simuls could be good if I had a little more time. I'm using too much time in the beginning and just kind of enjoying too much chatting, and I need to be more businesslike in the first stage of my simul so I can serve my time. Muralis is here challenging 6+3. Accepted. When you're ready, sir. Join the club, at least you got a title. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a Kobian in a long time. Dust. I did some commentary with him on lichess. Not on lichess. On ICC years ago. The last time I talked to him was doing mutual commentary, which was cool. We were always friendly, although he comes off a little arrogant. I don't like when people are arrogant. He was always normal in the beginning, before he became a GM, when I played him a couple times. It seems like after he became a GM, he became really full of himself. I don't like that in people. Alright, Morales, what are we going to do with you? Let's try something different. No, people shouldn't change their personalities because they got a title. That's not a good sign. Alright. Morales is now up to 291 games. This is 292. And I'm running out of things to play against him that I haven't already tried. I think it's possible I've never played the Queen D6 Scandinavian. I don't really know it very well. I made some videos on this when it first started to get played back 15 years ago. But I certainly wouldn't consider myself an expert. I mean, the theory was relatively unexplored back then. I wouldn't consider myself qualified to discuss it by today's standards. I was experimenting with this So bishop c4. I remember once I lost to the only game I ever played with it. I lost against Sabo Christian. Bishop c4. What happens if I play bishop e6 here? I'm having some crazy hallucinations because I'm not awake yet, apparently. There's an entertaining variation. Bishop e6, knight b5, queen c6. There's coffee grinds in my coffee. I guess that's normal. What's up with bishop c4 first? Tie move. Been seen in a long time. So I'm taking subscriber streams first. Subscriber challenges is the word I'm looking for. Welcome guys, good morning. Hamburger. Knight e2. So what's the big deal? Like you avoid bishop g4. Is this some sort of gambit? Like, okay, if queen c6, I can try to win the pawn. So queen c6, queen takes g2, rook g1. We'll sacrifice some material. This material, I don't like it. I don't like pawn grabbing particularly. This also supports bishop f4. I'm not going to go on this adventure with queen c6. He could play queen d3, queen g2, rook g1. Sacrifice a couple pawns for the initiative. Bishop f4 anyways. Huh. Seems like vaguely familiar. I don't know about d5. Pushing d5. I'm not sure how great it is. I mean, without this, without knight b5, I can play knight e5 like in the game. Hitting his bishop on c4, and his bishop on c4 is blocked by the pawn on d5. I don't know. Keep in mind, I can always play g6. I don't have to play e6. I didn't really think d5 was a good move for white. I'm not sure what is. Morales probably remembers. He has a good memory. He probably remembers if we played this before. I have no clue. You think he missed queen c6? Never, he said. Never would remember. Well, I mean, regardless of what any sort of YouTubers might say, I mean, I agree with Arsenal fan. I don't think that the Scandinavian with queen d8 is a real variation. You have to play either queen a5 or queen d6. You try to profit from the queen's move. I mean, if you don't derive some benefit from bringing the queen out to d5, you might as well just play another opening. It's ridiculous to play queen d8. It was only invented for like novelty effect. I don't think that's a serious thing. So, white's playing kind of safely here, it looks like. Safe and sound. I guess bishop f5. Someone played the Scandinavian against me the other day. In the Blitz game yesterday, I crushed them. What was that? A normal? No, it was a queen d6. I basically had no clue what I was supposed to do here. I don't like these squares. The variation here that bothers me, bishop f5, knight g3, and then bishop g6, queen e2. And I'm like caught in the tractor beam of the e-file. I literally have no clue what I'm doing. The Scandinavian's so bad, White could just play whatever and he gets a good position. It's like the 10th most dangerous variation that he can play, and I already don't know what I'm doing. Bishop g4 feels wrong. But as I said, bishop f5, knight g3 looked really bad. Why is this better, you might ask? Yeah, I'm just in the same trap again with queen e2. Then I lose a piece. You can't sacrifice anything here. What are you talking about, guys? Why would you want me to sacrifice a piece for nothing? Bishop takes f3, bishop takes e5. I'm down a piece for one pawn. It's like crazy to even consider it. At least you're gonna suggest a sacrifice, like give me two pawns. Give me two pawns or something, like vaguely close to enough. I wasn't really considering bishop takes f3. I was like thinking about bishop e6, maybe. It wasn't a question of bishop f3. But even if you didn't miss bishop takes e5 arsenal, bishop takes f3, pawn f3, knight takes f3, check, king f2 is probably just winning for white. There's like multiple refutations. I don't think there's a mate there. I mean, maybe there's some freaky thing. So what's he doing? Queen d4? It's like playing God. Again. The mysteriously unrated Morales. He probably has like 10 other accounts where he's like 2200 or something. He hasn't played a rated game in like 3 years. Why did he just do that? I have to admit I'm pretty intimidated by him. He seems like a master. To me, at least. He has to be at least 2200. At least with the white pieces. With black, he's like a different player. But when I'm playing him with black, he's like a 2200. His score with white is probably like 50%. With black, he's like, I don't know, minus 100. Yeah, I played almost 300 games against him. He has a better king here, but it's probably not enough to win. But I think he's like crushing me, honestly. Even after this debatable decision. I mean, this is a terrible exchange for him. He's just playing quickly. But I mean, even here, I think like g4. Black is close to lost in this position. If white just plays g4 here, what am I going to do? I know that I had knight d3. I didn't see it in the game, though. This queen d4 move took me by surprise. I mean, I really thought this actually happened in the game. That's frightening. It's frightening to think. I'm sorry for this guy, Bulgalski. If you play as bad as me in the queen d6 Scandinavian, I fear for your chess future. This was a surprising move, queen to d4. I mean, I guess we expected knight g3, and he was afraid of knight d3 check. I looked at this, but I was concerned about the d5 square. See, like this may not work. Did you check this all the way? Because I saw this square, I was like, you know. This is probably not gonna be okay for black. I end up with all kinds of problems. Just all sorts of tactics. Queen d5. Well, knight f3 doesn't work because you take with the queen, right? After this move, and then after this move, I'm just screwed because of queen e2. I mean, I had seen this. This is the only move, but I mean, black is lost here, no doubt. So that's why, I mean, maybe I have to play bishop e6 or something horrible. The computer suggests that this is playable. Wow, I can play castles queenside. This never occurred to me. Of course. That looks like the only way to survive, but I don't think this move really entered my mind. So knight c6 is bad. Knight c6 is bad. This is dangerous, to say the least. Trying to take this pawn. And I understood that. So b5, it looks like. Gotta play b5. Subscribers to the stream. Is anybody out there a subscriber? Arsenal. Is anybody else a subscriber who's challenging me right now? I'll try to get to some of the other challenges, but I want to thank the subscribers to the Twitch stream first. Master Morales, 292 games. Begging. Ludwig, welcome. Honeyshburger tried to get me with a rated challenge. Not gonna trick me. Too close to 1400. We gonna play the Spanish? Please stop begging me to play, alright? If you're in the list of challenges, you're in the list. There's no need to repeatedly ask me again and again. Beggars can't be choosers. Bishop c5. Alright. I never know what kind of player you're getting. Arsenal's become more positional. Guys, there's simply a list. Like, you're in the list, and I take the subscribers, and you play when you're in the list. There's no, like, beg me, please pick me first. It's like, that's not fair. I'm not gonna, like, just take some random person in front of another one. I just take the challenges when I get them. Please, me again. So wait a second here. Italian game, how do we challenge? What is your lichess? Matt, genius. You guys challenge Sparkle Horse on lichess. Lichess. Thanks, Mubat. Honeyshburger. Alright. H6. Not a move I really like personally, but it's played. It's got a following. In this position, it's not that bad. Just in principle, I don't really like H6. Then again, white plays H3 often, so it's pretty much the same thing. You're not the only moron. I definitely feel like one most days. You can't escape the Morales with black. The guy's good. Tried the queen to 6 Scandinavian. Not a great opening, in my opinion. I mean, probably knowing it would help me, but I still don't think that would really help that much. So Arsenal fan playing d5. Matt Genius just donated 200 bits. Wow, thank you. From one moron to another. Appreciate it. Man, Arsenal, h6 and d5. Can you do this? Are you allowed to do this? Not a traditional way here for black, usually. I had a game against somebody who annihilated me. A similar type of thing. Contemporary theory says you're not supposed to play d5, Arsenal. But it suits your aggressive style to try to... It suits your personality to try to do things that you're not supposed to do. That's very you. Didn't like the way I performed in the simul yesterday. Okay, like one game I just like resigned. Well, I was worse in all the games I resigned. One game I was down a pawn and resigned against that account Legion, but you know, I find it hard to believe that somebody plays like 12 games against me without ever making any kind of mistake. You know, that starts to get... I just was like, I'm never going to beat this guy. I just resign. I mean, even against the great Morales, I sometimes see mistakes, you know, but when someone plays like 12 games against me without... I'm getting to the point where I don't understand why they're even playing in my simuls if they're that perfect that they never ever make a mistake. We've been here before with other accounts in the past. That's sort of weird. But other than that, all the games seem fine. I think I could play better. Knight f4 again. Dude, are you playing the Marshal here or what? Arsenal's playing the Marshal. Some kind of weird Marshal. I don't know, is this even anything? Okay, just d4 is good. I could also take and play d4. It's like a king's gambit. If I played bishop takes f4... You're not sure h6 was necessary, JCS. Well, I you know, I mean, I'm very much not that expert on the Italian game. But honestly, guys, if you look in the opening score, I mean, h6 is it's a literal variation. I don't pretend to understand it, but I mean, a lot of people play h6. I'm not sure that h6 is conducive to playing d5 or not, but if you look at that position, like this type of position, h6 is a pretty common guest. I was always skeptical of it when I've seen it. Definitely. Well, I mean, he's down a pawn here, best case scenario, right? Right? Right. Berserker, you would be the next subscriber challenger. Maybe Ludlud is a subscriber. Where's Ludlud? No. So anyway, Berserker, I can take your challenge next. The non-subscribers have to wait. You're in a hurry. Arsenal fans playing the Marshall against the Italian game. I figured we could have a better chance. He seems to be well versed now in the black side of the Spanish. That's done. The night is done, man. It's finished. Its days are over. Yeah, I just play knight g6. Collecting material. We caught Arsenal with his pants down. He spent most of his time working on the Spanish, it looks like. Queen d3. But fuck beer, thanks for the input. If knight c3, it's a different opening. I mean, it's... Then you're talking about a Vienna game or something. Ernst. Oh, he's got bishop takes d1, bishop takes b3, so I have to be thoughtful here. Alright. Tricksters. Tactical trickster. Dude, I'm seriously trying to find a way to lose. It's unbelievable. How can you find a way to lose this position? It takes real skill to do that. Queen c2, Queen h5. I'm doing it again. I'm going to drop a piece? No. Queen c2. Can I trade queens? I mean, he's like down a piece with that bishop on b6. It's so useless. It's effectively like I'm up a rook. I actually had the threat of coming in here, I just realized. So black doesn't have a lot of options. So it's... funny position. I'm not pinned anymore. That's cool. Look, man, no pin. found it, dude. He's tactically unbelievable. Sees everything. Rook e5 is possible. I think there was a mate somewhere. There's no mate. My queen is trapped. I can't believe you did that. King e7. My queen is almost trapped, dude. It's got to be winning for white, but you got to at least try it. It's surprisingly resilient for black. If only you had like one more move. One extra move and you'd be winning, probably. You know, if your rook was protected. Alright, Berserker has to go. So we're going to take his challenge first. Oh, dude. Begging continues. Pawn to be wild, welcome. Damn, President Trump. It was rigged. It was not a fair election. Absolutely. Totally rigged. This is early in the morning. It's always rigged. We've got to take the subscriber challenges first. Otherwise, challenge me 5-3 through 7+3. Everyone's challenging to 7+3, but that's not mandatory. Anything between 5+3 and 7+3. I'll accept challenges like 5+3, 5+4, 5+5, 6+3, 6+4, 6+5, 7+3. Anything in that range. 5 to 7 minutes with a maximum of 7+3, 3 to 5 second increment. Anything in that range, I'll accept the challenge. Casual. Silence, minions. Silence the minions. You never have to accept the election result, Arsenal. Maybe d5 was okay. It was just your follow-up that's bad. Honestly. We'll have to check with the theory. Why do I have a headache? My melatonin isn't working as well as I had hoped. The Sunday nights are always hard, the simul. I don't sleep well. Alright, excuses. That's why you lost. Alright, dude. Wow. Yeah, that guy is like totally annoying. Now he's claiming he's a subscriber. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm just gonna cancel this challenge. That's annoying. You're out of the list for being annoying. Fuckbeer, thanks for the donation, 200 bits. E5. Damn, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. I love me some tilt. I love that. It's totally. There's a huge scandal here in Hungary because this guy, one of these far-right politicians, compared Soros George to Hitler. Now, he's in serious danger of losing his job. The story got really spiraling out of control now. The lizard people. Obviously, it makes sense to compare Soros George to Hitler since he's like a concentration camp survivor. That makes a lot of sense. All right, but anyway, off the topic of politics, conspiracy theories are fun. Man, Berserker, you confused me. What the heck is E5? Nobody plays E5 here. No, you know what? I guess it is a good move, huh? I just don't know the theory. My problem is that I played this position for black and I never played this line with E5 myself. He's actually right. That is correct. E5, playing for like the D5. We got a lot of conspiracy theories. Yeah, there's lots of guys on lichess playing with chess base. I love Arsenal fans playing with chess base open. Seriously, what is H5? No, Berserker is being a Berserker now. I think you played normally, but H5, really? I'm not going to play G4. Don't have to fear that. I guess he's just going psychopathic. He's not trying to prevent G4. That was a good one, though. The 1400 I played in the streamer battle yesterday, playing like a master. And I reported him, and they still didn't ban him from lichess. I'll just resign every game I ever play the guy again. I'm not playing 1400s who are masters, and accepting that is normal. You know? I refuse to accept that. Well, you know, interestingly, Arsenal fan, speaking of, not a lot of people necessarily, I think ChessBase has faded a little bit in terms of marketing. But, and I think that ultimately, like, this whole idea of, like, independent software where you're running, like, chess database will be not, like, obsolete. I mean, they might be talking about, like, a chess-based web page, too. I'm thinking of the standalone program. But honestly, you know, it's interesting, like back in the day on ICC, where I used to play before I played on lichess, they would have like programs that they would somehow like scan your system or something. I think they actually did that to see if ChessBase or some sort of chess program was running. That was a real thing. You know, it's pretty invasive. I don't think that would work today with privacy laws and stuff. I'm not sure. You know, you'd have to like sign off on it or something, I guess. I don't know. But they used to actually see if you had a chess program running on your PC. Yeah, I'm sure the cheating is rampant. ICC was a downloaded program. Yeah, you had it downloaded Well, you have to have a downloaded, um, what do you call it? What's the word? I want to say browser, yeah, interface. Um, but that's their cheating detection. Old school cheating detection was scanning your system to see if a chess program was running. I mean, now it's like you just like have your cell phone out. Man, I was thinking about how ridiculous the whole concept of I could vent about computers all day long and cheaters and stuff, but I was thinking about how ridiculous the whole concept of the Zoom call or whatever to like prevent cheating. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, honestly. How's a Zoom call gonna stop people from cheating? Like they try to have like money tournaments. It's unbelievable. You're only really going to be aware of this if you're an American chess player, but like the Internet Chess Club hosts tournaments that are online rated and they're playing for money, like the Continental Chess Association trying to hold its like real tournaments online. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard of. Play in a tournament and pay an entry fee? Are you crazy? The only way you could catch someone for cheating would be to analyze their games and try to come up with a statistical evidence, based on their moves. You're gonna put an entry fee down and play in a tournament with those guys with their chess face open? Arsenal's not gonna do that. It's hard enough to keep people from cheating in real life, over the board. 12-hour 5-5 tournament with premium membership for top 3 was won by 3 accounts. I think that it should be simply, first of all, any kind of tournament should be like you have to have a registered account with your identity on it, period. I mean, that's the way. You're only allowed to have one account or maybe 2 accounts, but you have to have your name associated with it openly, first of all. You can't just create new accounts every 4 days. I mean, that's insane. Naka always looks at the ceiling. He got that from Alexander Ivanov, probably. He used to do that all the time. They probably played a few times. Ivanov would act like he was playing blindfold during real games. Maybe he was. He actually had really good ability to analyze blindfolded. I couldn't even keep up with him. When he was like analyzing in his head, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. So Ivanov would do the looking at the ceiling. Man, Berserker is fast. He would do looking at the ceiling based on that. Dude, I am toast here. Oh, you found that. It's a exchange sacrifice. He wins a pawn. It's unclear how strong Berserker really is. Sometimes he seems extremely strong. We don't have that many games left, but already he's got a credible score. 3.5. What happened here? He disconnected? Disconnected in a winning position. Well, not winning, but clearly better. Yeah, it's winning. So let's check this game. I was drifting without real good plan. I've never played this line before. I'm supposed to play knight f3. There's a Hikaru game. 2004. Actually, Hikaru played this against me. That's funny, I didn't think about it, but that was one of our games. He was white. He was white, and I played knight g4, and he played bishop g5. He had this line. I can't remember that it was a draw. I don't remember what happened. It wasn't a long game, it was a relatively quick draw. I guess Hikaru offered a draw at some point. It was a long time ago, though. He wasn't a GM yet. So here, rook c8 is a theoretical novelty. Looks like a good move, though. Very logical. h5 is insane. That's just inappropriate here. I mean, h5 is a move you play to like stop white from playing g4, but I don't really have any intention of that. I played too feebly. Here I lost the thread. But I just have 7 seconds and I didn't know what to do. Completely missed bishop f4. I looked at bishop f2, but it was like too awkward. For some reason, bishop f4 is like a blind spot. I literally looked at this, but I just thought my pieces were awkwardly placed. I decided to just give you back the exchange with seconds left. So apparently I should take this one. At least that gives me some sort of counterplay. Alright. They can't do Zoom tournaments online. I mean, it's absurd. You know, these Carlsen tournaments and stuff with elite players are based on honor. I mean, but to have an open tournament where it's like online and you're playing on your Zoom camera, I mean, dude, what does that prove? You can have a huge... What if you have like a huge monitor behind your main computer screen? Like, what if you have like a head, you know, like microphone speakers in your ears, and somebody's like phoning in moves from the next room or something? I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. You can't have online chess tournaments. That's absurd. I hate to be like the purveyor of bad news, you know. There's no way you can have tournaments for money on the internet without people cheating. I mean, it's just... Get in touch with reality. Alright. But anyway, that's the positive thought for the day. Let's hope the pandemic ends quickly. I figure you just have like 100 different ways to cheat, at least. Dinekis. Alright. Who else was a subscriber that wanted to play? Burger? Burger, are you a subscriber? Where's Burger? I don't think Dinekis is a subscriber unless he got gift subbed. Yeah. Well, listen, Arsenal fan, Masters cheat and Grandmasters cheat too. But they're less likely to cheat than, you know, when you've invested a lot of time in playing the game, the point is, you know, probably you wouldn't want to cheat, but unfortunately human greed is like almost unlimited. I mean, especially kids who have less experience with morality. But old people cheat too, I'm sure. It's human nature to cheat, I guess, sadly. But I mean, yeah, your statistical chances are going to go down when you're playing Masters. But I've told the story before. I know grandmasters who cheated, so. Alright. A4. Right. That's what I've told the story about. The banner blitz on World Chess Network. And that wasn't even for money. I mean, that's the scariest thing about that. I told the story about how Larry and Myron Mihai and myself knew this one GM was cheating. And they're cheating, and it's not even for money. They were just cheating to, like, make themselves look better, you know? That's disturbing. We'd feel much better if it was, like, for money. Imagine if it was for money, how much they would cheat. But, you know, and then you got Sebastian Feller and Rousis. I mean, examples of modern grandmasters who've been caught cheating. Right. Rousis. Yeah. So Arsenal fans' implication that masters don't cheat is oversimplification. They're slightly less likely to cheat, but they still cheat. Just give people enough incentive and they will cheat. It's like guaranteed. But I mean, I'm as just sort of depressed by the pandemic as everybody. But I think we have to. I mean, I know there's people like in, for example, Arsenal fan in the UK. What's his name? There's an organizer who's trying to set up a lot of online tournaments. Adam Ralph. He's a good guy, but I mean, you know, I understand the motivation and the desire to have chess online. Maybe try to make a business out of it. But the reality is, you know, I don't think that it will work. It's just such a nightmare. You don't cheat in the UK. Well, I mean, you know, it's possible that there is a sort of tradition in English culture for fair play. More so than in some places. Chivalry isn't dead. Perhaps. But unfortunately it doesn't apply to everyone. Federico said, my son who's into astronomy asked me how stars die. Usually an overdose, son. I like... It took me a while to understand that. I wonder if that applies to astronomy. I don't know, Arsenal. You live in a very chivalrous country. Nobody cheats in the UK. This is why people are supposed to shake hands before the game. It's supposed to be like a sign of goodwill and whatnot. Anyway, welcome to the stream, guys. We've got about an hour and a half of Blitz challenges. Bishop b4. Don't like my bishop here unprotected. Yeah, I don't think that I played this best. I feel like Hanishberger badly butchered the opening and I should have had more, but I have only a slight edge. My center is really strong. c5 is also interesting. He's trying to play c5 now. Cut off from the rest of the flock. People wouldn't cheat against me over the board. Sure, man. You'll just use your magic extrasensory perception to know if they cheated or not. And then promptly knock them out. The point is you would never know if someone's cheating in most cases. A5 is a good move. Having trouble focusing. Bishop takes c5, wins a pawn. Wait a minute, you had that last move? Are you serious? He has bishop takes c5. Nobody's gonna say anything? I'm just like blundering a pawn? Jeez. I just pointed out how my bishop is unprotected, and then I proceed to play c5, allowing bishop takes c5? Okay, well that's intelligent. Princess Chess, thanks for subscribing. How's the fan club coming? We're trying to create my own fan club. Dude, what am I doing here? His plan is bishop a6, getting rid of the bad bishop. Okay, what's my advantage in this position based on? Structural advantage, 1 pawn island against 3, and some central space. When in doubt, go back to the fundamentals of the position, try to understand what your advantage consists of. Here, tactically, I have a problem with my last move. I played this idiotic c5. Black just ignored it. A little bit of development advantage, not really much. But it's the structure primarily in the space with the central pawn on d4. I'm like blundering tactically, and I'm very foggy-headed without a clear plan. This defends d3. I mean, ultimately, my space advantage is very significant. If he can achieve c5 or something to that effect, I mean e5, he's going to have problems with the isolated pawns. I was expecting to play bishop a6, though. He shouldn't mess around, like, delaying that too long. I've got 2 challenges only right now from Dinekis and Ludlub. We're going to take those challenges absolutely next. So after everything's said and done, he did not play bishop a6. I think that's definitely a mistake. His bishop remains like a pawn on b7. I mean, this whole variation, do not play this at home. Like, b5 is considered to be dubious. I'm trying to think back to some example. I thought I saw some really old game where Kasparov played similarly. Couldn't have been that position, though. Okay, knight d5, hanging a pawn with check. Worst case scenario, I can go back. Just go back to d3. I don't see anything. I don't want my piece to get trapped. He doesn't have anything here. Maybe he does. Sort of funky combination, like bishop takes c5, knight b4. This also helps protect the d3 knight, a bishop, whatever. I don't know much about Komodo, Arsenal. Do you have Komodo? Do you analyze with Komodo? I've used Stockfish, and before that I think I had Ribka briefly. But I don't Don't use a lot of engines these days. You seem to be an expert in chess engines, Arsenal. Suspicious. Very suspicious. Yeah, this is a good move. The only upside would be the queen h4 for black. Such a confusing position. No pieces exchanged. If I take on d5, at least his bishop blocked. It does fix his pawns, though. This isn't optimal, I guess. You might argue this is just a mistake. But I'm winning objectively. I could even play bishop takes a6. He shouldn't play this. This is just making it worse. He's playing worse than me. I'm very foggy-headed and inconsistent. I don't think knight d5 was the right move. But he shouldn't exchange on d2, because it just makes it easier for me. Now it's like totally over. Black has no counterplay, and he lost his a-pawn. That was a huge mistake. Absolutely not exchange on d2. I guess the safest is taking here with the e-pawn, not to give me a passer. I missed knight f4 with the idea of g6. You're kidding me. What? There? Oh man. Wow, that's brutal. It's a nice tactic from Falkbeer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have enough oxygen. I had to close the window in my office because this dog was barking outside. Excuses, Arsenal. Blame it on the dog. Oof. There's that giveaway. Thanks, Ernst. Yeah, I feel real foggy-headed. Not clear, I can't calculate. When I'm like that, I have to just play on like intuition. My tactics suck. There's like night and day between my game when my tactics are on or not. Princess Chess is challenging a subscriber. We'll take your challenge first. I felt good when I started stream, but I feel like I'm falling asleep now. Hard to keep my eyes open. You guys with the simulus, it's tough the next day. Simulus keep me awake all night. Lulu, don't leave. Oh, Antonio's leaving. Alright. I thought you were leaving and saying bye. Princess Chess with this closed Sicilian is painful. I had this game at the Boylston Chess Club once. I think it was a draw with a weaker player. I remember once I did something similar with the white pieces in an English, and that's where I got the idea from. But there's something very artificial about playing Queen A5. I'm not sure if it even makes sense until white plays Queen D2. You read it all so far? What's that, Arsenal? So now, explain to me. Oh, this is about the cheater? Jesse is a sub? Okay, we'll take that challenge next then. Thanks, Acerbate. They're gone, though. Well, if somebody doesn't think it's, strange that someone goes from 1,100 to 2,300 in less than a year, yeah. How is he doing it? I've heard creepy stories about players cheating in American tournaments, too. Well, yeah, I mean, basically, the undesirables. Nobody wants to be a chess tournament director in the right mind. Being a chess player is bad enough. Oh, Matt Genius is Jesse? I've never seen anything quite like this. It's an artificial way for black to keep the d4 protected. I did maybe once in the English again. The English is the Sicilian. They're the same opening. I've played some games with white using similar ideas. My name is Sparkle Horse. Borrowed that. I hope he doesn't mind. Depends on if we exist in the afterlife or not. Alright. What am I supposed to do? E5? Rook A, E1. Look at the coordination. Excellent. Nice coordination you got there. So when white goes bishop H6, what do I do? E5? Is she hesitating because of the C2 pawn? I figured F5 was coming next. So I can play F5 myself. We have to watch for the Spassky. The Spassky being the E5 push here. Miralis. I think Princess Chess is familiar with that idea. Mechanism. on knight a4 is even possible. This is like way too symmetrical. It's hard to do anything. I would assume that's a mistake by white, but maybe not. Giving up the center to open the bishop. I mean, theoretically, where it says you get bits. I saw it now, it's disappeared. Up in the right hand corner, it should be like next to your profile picture. Next to messages and stuff like new prime loot. I have a new prime loot, notifications, whispers, get bits up in the right hand corner. Does everybody have the same? Maybe I should play bishop takes. Why do I have to play pawn takes? What are you talking about, Arsenal? Now. Defrauded? Oh, an iPad. I don't know about iPads. Man. Lifetime close Sicilian player. It's painful. Painful to play against. Yeah, it's not fun being tied down to that backward pawn. I mean, you can't have everything. Life is hard and then you die. Is that how it goes? King F1. Are you trying to play G4? You wouldn't do that, would you? New forces. Force horse. Nice bishop you've got there. Situation. This is weird, man. It's really weird. It's like unbelievable that I can't seem to find a way to break through. I guess we use the F pawn. I mean, that's really crazy, though. They ask one specific player to play under different conditions or something. I mean, that's like... Dude, have a good case for court, I would think. You know, whether you're right or wrong, it's unbelievable he can get away with that. How can you impose like this kind of rules on one person? That's weird. So he won a lot of prizes, understand. This reminds me of a close Sicilian I had. You got that. Against someone else. Same bishops. And I beat a little while ago. Same pawn on b3 too. Alright, tough game. Peter Dubek is challenging rated 5-2. Okay, guys. What happened to the challenge we had? What happened to the challenge from another subscriber? He disappeared. Jesse. No, Princess, just I think your position was okay. I think your position was okay. I mean, later you made some mistakes. The opening was fine. That doesn't mean you couldn't even do better, but I wouldn't blame your loss on the opening. I think you had quite a reasonable position till well into the middle game. The king f1 was weird. I mean, you are kind of stuck in a position where, okay, I don't like having to give away your dark square bishop. Then you become in a kind of defensive situation where your best hope is probably a draw, objectively. But what happened to Jenny? I mean Jesse. DNX has given me a hard time lately. Look at this. Draw, win, draw, draw. Since he came back to the stream, he seems to have gotten stronger. He had a bad run before that. He's given me a lot of trouble over the last 5 games. Acerbate's friend. Yeah, you got your did you close the window or something? Thought you left. Scandinavian with knight f6 is not great, but I need to play some interesting openings sometimes. H3. It's an unusual order of moves, but I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, what's the deal? What can I do? C5? I doubt C5 is working. So H3 is probably just a weird move order for a good variation. I've never seen anyone play it on move 5 before. It actually seems kind of strange. But how to exploit it? It's rare to play bishop g4 in tandem with g6. I guess I have c5 here. Maybe that's the problem with his move order. His h3. His h3 can be exploited by this early c5, but it's still a dangerous position for black. Still very, very risky. But if he plays the proper move order, I can't even do this. Looks like Alekhine, yeah. I mean, it's related. I don't know, understand exactly why, but I guess the knight transfer. You know, it's just, it feels like the Scandinavian's related to the Alekhine. There's obviously some crossover variations. When you play the Alekhine and people play knight c3 and you play d5, for example, this is weak, though. I guess I anticipated bishop g5. Pawn takes pawn is just bad. Yeah, just send another challenge. Did he get it in there? Now black has very good development, and white has no center anymore. It's a utopia for black. Utopian position. Now I wonder. I guess he was concerned about this. White's lucky to get out of this alive at all. Opening disaster. But still, I can't put him away. A lot of routine moves by black. He's getting away. I couldn't trap him in the center. This knight sucks. The b6 knight is just a piece of garbage. The only thing it does is control d5, but it's absolutely a problem. I'm giving away my other good knight. You know, my good knight could have gone to d4. To quote Arsenal fan, knight b4 is leaving this knight. Garbage. Garbage scow. a3 knight d3. Black's still better. I actually wondered if he could have played knight g5 earlier to attack my bishop on e6. I can pull it back here all the way, or possibly just d7. Grabbing bishops. Chesteroid. Chesteroid, welcome. Knight d3. Give me your bishops. I come in peace. What am I threatening to undermine this one? Now the knight on b6 comes to life. Princess Chess twittering. Lizard people, unite. See? Garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. The knight has to change its ways. It's a freaking disaster. This is no way to be. It has nowhere to go. It's so sad. Titled I am have 2400 lichess rating. But a lot of players say to me that my 2000 plus rating, only first rank, not even close to CM. I wouldn't judge too much by Blitz ratings. There's a wide variety. I mean, an IM can be anywhere between 2100 and 2800. My rating happens to be 2447. I should probably be higher. Like, at least 25. I'm a little low right now. I'm not that competitive about it. There's a lot of players who are like candidate masters who are higher than me. I mean, I don't know. It depends. There's a huge difference. Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge difference between 2000 and 2400. That's true. Massive. But Schieberspieler's here. Asteroid figured out the Twitter fan club. Nice. This is not a pleasant endgame for white. You don't want to play Konstantin Chernyshov in this endgame, or someone who's a really strong endgame player. It is symmetrical, though. I mean, you got a chance to draw here. But my flank pawns, I can enforce bishop e2 on you. Weakening your position more. The knight is the biggest issue. This knight has to correct itself. Self-correcting knight. But in order to do that, I mean, I'm just worried about knight d5 coming in. Maybe it's not a big deal. It's not something I should actually worry about, perhaps. Maybe I should ignore it, in fact. Let's worry about the knight. Getting my knight back in the game. Honestly, if I had my druthers, which is an expression that I never fully understood, I probably wouldn't exchange both rooks. If I had this in a long game, I would exchange maybe one set of rooks, try to keep the other set of rooks on. I feel like they're a good asset here for black. I'm not quite sure. I could push the kingside pawns. Try to create some play here with like g5, g4. $39. That's what I tell everyone. Give me liberty or give me death. What happens on knight a5 now? There is this path. Don't like that. He's got knight d3, knight f4. Damn, I could have played knight a5, but I can't take on b3 without dropping the b7 pawn. So if I played knight a5, knight d3, knight b3, bishop b7, or knight d3, yeah. I have to do a bunch of things before I can try to make progress here. I have to guard this, maybe push g5. I figured he was going to play that at some point. Okay, just knight a5, actually. Maybe I'm just winning. I just realized the c4 pawn is hanging when he drops b3, so all this crap I'm talking about is stupid. He's losing 2 for 1. He's losing this and this. And I'm just giving him the b7 pawn in exchange for both. So white is like, gotta play that move. That's the only move. And anyway, this works because I have knight b3. Knight b3 and knight d2 check. The question is it enough to win or not? Miracle babies. That's awesome, man. Very cool. You would have tried b6? No, I mean white just blundered. Blunderific. We're good. But I think b6 might have been alright. I was concerned it gave white time to defend the b3 pawn. Now white's lost. I mean a4 is serious issue. He has all Isolani. Isolani. You definitely want your king in the center. There's that square. It's a pain. This is becoming mildly irritating. It has to be winning for black, though. I mean, with the horrible structure. He didn't put up the best resistance here in the last moves. just in case. I guess he wants to play knight h4. I guess not. So much for that theory about knight h4. Schieberspieler's here. Oh, there he is. Are you gonna stream today? After this? After these messages? This endgame brought to you by Schieberspieler. His favorite bishop pair. Bishop pair and connected pass pawns. It's a good combination. I guess I might have to like give up my bishop, one of my bishops at some point to convert this. I'm streaming till 1:30 as usual. You guys can check out Schieberspieler. All right, we lost Jesse. Arsenal, what happened? The lizard people brought you back to life? Rudy Giuliani? Why are shoutouts mod only? Wait, what are you saying? I'm confused now. Did you learn more about shoutouts? I never set them up. Did it have something to do with the Streamlabs? Do we have a shout out for Schieberspieler? We don't have one set up. We'll have to make it priority. It's not working. There it is. So we've got it set up to exclam shout out, not exclam SO. Ludwig, how dare you play the London system? Master Chess Dojo. Chess black belt. Dude, you're here just in time for the London system. Brian McCarthy. What's up, man? Fellow Mid-Atlantic master. I try not to pay too much attention to David Icky. Knight F3. So, alright, knight BD7. This is what we worked on. Take care, Mr. Dojo. Interesting move, C4. Oh, this was where I studied the gambit. Okay. Is this possible? Anything's possible. We looked at this. I'm not up on my latest conspiracy theories. Wish I had more time to really invest in it. This opening is conspiracy theory, actually. And I can't remember what the heck I'm supposed to do. It's never been played as far as I know, this gambit. But I looked at it a bit with the engine, and it's pretty sound. Borderline. Interesting attempt to take the initiative. I mean, you can't trade queens here. I really need to develop. I don't see the alternative. Quick development. I'm not sure if this is enough, and I can't remember now my own analysis. It's never been played as far as I know, but the computer like thought it was okay. But somehow I'm already confused. Take, knight takes. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to play bishop b4 check or not. What other move could there be though? You can't trade knights. I don't see another move. I mean, it has to be bishop b4 check. The question is, does black have enough compensation for the pawn? Arsenal, there will be lizard DNA in those vaccines. I've heard all the 3 major vaccines are really genetic engineering attempts to create a new breed of lizard people. Rudy Giuliani told me. It's all funded by George Soros. And Bill Gates is in on it, and he's going to implant 5G in the DNA. Alright, so what do we do here? Take with the bishop or take with the knight? Am I worried about losing a second pawn? No. If I take with the knight, I'm going to develop. Life expectancy depends on where you're at. I think in Hungary it's like 65 or something. I'm not sure. Probably the south of England is 66. It's definitely dependent on the healthcare and other factors. I think half of Hungary are smokers. That's definitely not helping. Definitely varies wildly. Yeah, it's probably like in the 80s in like, well-to-do parts of the United States, Japan. It depends on where you are, but definitely here, not very high. I'm not. You see, I can't get COVID because like I have no chance of being saved in the Hungarian hospital. Is probably zero if I get. I'm definitely gonna take a COVID vaccine. I don't want to be in the emergency here. Um, so it may not matter. There's only so much they can do for you. I mean, honestly, Hungarian doctors and medical experts, they do the best they can. But the infrastructure isn't great here. We need more hospitals and more financing for medical stuff. In the United States, the problem is if you go to the hospital, there goes like your life savings. At least here it's not expensive. In the US, if you have to go to the emergency room, you might as well just like commit suicide because they just took all your money anyway. If you don't have insurance, you're just going to be like in debt for the rest of your life. I'm afraid to go to the hospital anywhere here because the infrastructure is not great, and in America I'll just be broke for the rest of my life if they save me. Do you know how expensive it is to get health insurance in the United States? It's out of control. You should be happy you have the NHS in the UK, man. Jim, wasting you. What are you talking about? What are you guys talking about? The draw? It was a draw. What are you talking about, man? The draw where I was lost? I mean, yeah, you can get Medicare, I guess. But what if you're like lower middle income and you just don't quite qualify for Medicare? Then you have to like pay, I don't know, $1,000 a month for healthcare or something. It's like out of control, man. If you can't qualify for Medicare or some sort of in the US, like pay healthcare is out of control. It's like ridiculous. And we're just like forking over our money to the pharmaceutical companies and like wealthy surgeons and stuff. And like the Republicans want to do away with Obamacare. I mean, if you're like rich, it's no problem. I guess most of the people that want to get rid of Obamacare are independently wealthy. But if you're not wealthy, you're like middle class, paying for like a family to have health care, it's ridiculous, man. I'm thinking about moving to the United States back. Just the thought of like paying for health care is almost enough to make it like impossible. If I couldn't qualify for mass health or some kind of state health, I don't think I can afford to live in the United States. It's that bad. I think healthcare costs as much as rent. Ludwig is hanging on. You have 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Dental care, forget about it. I go to the dentist and I'm like, I don't want any x-rays. Just clean my teeth. I'll just have a cleaning. They're like all protesting. I'm like, I'm serious. I don't want an x-ray. I have to like ask them not to give me an x-ray. It's crazy. I mean, that's pretty sad, dude. You go to the dentist, you have to request them not to do an x-ray because it's so overpriced. Ludwig is like systematically killing me. I don't think I have any business here. Playing for a win. I have to take a draw. I don't have enough compensation. Apparently I was winning. How? Oh my god, I had bishop takes e4. What? Yeah. Just wins. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm at. You know, I didn't have healthcare for a while, but I was mostly living over here. But once you hit like 40, you can't go without healthcare. It's one thing if you're like in your 20s or early 30s. I'm just totally winning, but I'm like on seconds. B takes c4, bishop takes e4. I just didn't see the mate in one, you know, that's the funny part. I never saw the mate in one. I'm too... You're lucky, hello. Yeah, most people don't get dental coverage with their work. Especially if like stuff like a gig job. Imagine if you work as an Uber driver or something. I'm sure Uber drivers get dental. I want to see this. This has never been played. Check. Okay, so here, this is interesting. This is the first time this gambit has ever been played as far as I know. Check. Castles. Computer prefers queen e7 first. I mean, I ended up doing that anyway. In the game, it was like castles, queen b3, probably a mistake. But I was actually considering taking with a knight so I could play knight c5 with a tactic on the b4, b, you know. But you just go back to c2, and it's nothing special. I may have just like helped you. So it's an interesting opening anyway. If you can run 10K in 43 minutes, you're in good shape. Speaking of that, I need to go for a walk after the stream, get some exercise. Do you have healthcare through work? Yeah, man, I mean, this is my major consideration with moving back to the United States. Since Hungary is becoming like an autocracy, I've been seriously thinking of moving back. But, especially with Trump gone, But honestly, it's just a question if I can afford it. No, I got time for one more game. No, I've got time for 2 more games at least. Arsenal wants a double challenge day. Can my mate, Roman Gigina, hook you up? Hook me up? Hook me up with what? We don't even talk. We're enemies. I divorced him 20 years ago. We hate each other. And I think you just look at each other and don't say anything. Does he make DVDs talking about Ribka? Oh man, he's like the most difficult person in the world to get along with. I gave up at some point. Nah, he's impossible. But he always loved computers. Even back in the 90s, he was constantly playing with engines, millions of games. And he would like play the same game with the same computer again and again and again and again and again, like 100 million times till he figured out exactly how he could beat it. That's like obsessive, man. I can't believe that even now. Well, I'm not wound up about it. I don't deeply hate him. I just don't trust him, and I found him too difficult to deal with. No. Don't worry, it doesn't bother me. That was a long time ago. So I should play for e4. Or c4 or something. Let's try to lose the exchange. I've never played this player, DX Stinger. It sounds familiar for some reason. Would I... I mean, honestly, Arsenal fan, I don't know, I was always kind of indifferent about it. I'm the one that asked for a divorce, essentially. I don't respect his morale, his lack of morality. No, I'm an unforgiving guy. But Roman's very much the same. Like, once you get on his bad side, he can hold a grudge forever. If he made an effort, I probably would, but I wouldn't be the first one, and neither will he, and so that's why we're where we are. We're similar in that respect. I would never, I would forgive him if he asked for forgiveness, but I would never take the first step. And he doesn't think he did anything wrong. He's like clueless. So threatening for bishop f5. I forgive you, Arsenal fan. But your infractions are only minor. You have moral character. What am I gonna do? C4. High fiber. I don't know. It doesn't look like Ron Jeremy. That's ridiculous. They're both pot-bellied and old and have long hair. Other than that, like, there's no resemblance whatsoever. Alright. Roman used to always dress in black to, like, minimize his girth. They say black is slenderizing. E4. I shouldn't talk, though. I'm getting really fat during this pandemic. It's out of control. I need to get as much exercise as possible. Black's defending this. What am I going to do? Now you just go to beer club every week. So if I go for C4, is there a problem? There is a problem, isn't there? Maybe not. You might have some tricks. It's funny, the fattest I ever got was like when I was in my 20s, which is really strange. But I think I'm rivaling that now. We're getting back to our worst thanks to the pandemic. I don't really know Ron Jeremy. We're just comparing him to someone else. Alright, what's up here? White's gotta be better. It looks like a really weird Petrov. Hasn't Ricky Schroeder bailed Ron Jeremy out yet? That'll be the next thing. You don't know the getting fat feeling. You're lucky, man. I've always had a tendency. I was chubby when I was a little kid. Sometimes I went through phases when I was little where I was really fat looking. That's why I never was popular with the girls in elementary school. Just a nerd. Still can't have everything. So What am I doing here? Take. He can blockade very easily. I don't know what to do. I feel like white has a huge advantage, but it's not so easy. All this space, there's nothing I can do with it. Damn. Yeah, h4. You saw me reaching for it? I mean, whenever I'm desperate, I just play h4. That's our default Ponda. h4 Ponda. It's a normal move in this kind of King's Indian attack sort of structure, Catalan. I mean, I gotta make a decision at some point to release the tension. I don't really like h5 for black. Honestly, the problem with moving a rook would be like, I was afraid the bishop would come to b4. Arse. Although you could consider the other rook, then you've got to deal with bishop a3. There's always like some kind of annoying move black has. This is totally Catalan position. Probably Schieberspieler sees it in those terms. I mean, we can play here, here. Why not queen a4? Well, you'll see. I feel like the queen is out of play on a4. Here it's more centralized. I mean, you clearly got a lot of range. It also guards the central pawn, keeps a lot of things under control. I don't know if this is enough. I mean, e6 was my idea, but the question is, who cares? Like they say on the Muppet Show. I disagree, Arsenal fan. You have a very loose definition of forced. But that doesn't mean it's a bad move. I disagree about your terminology completely. f5 is certainly not forced. He could allow me to take on f7 and there's no immediate threat. Yeah, I'm not really threatening anything direct there. He could have played like bishop f6, bishop f8. But I'm arguing about, you know, the definition of your term. It looks like f5 was the quote-unquote safest move, I would say. I wouldn't argue with that. I'm just being argumentative, because I know how much you love it. Yeah, it's hard to break through his structure. We'll play one more game after this. Naughty boy. Rated 10-0. He's 1800, not 1400. I still don't like it. We played the ultimate 1400 yesterday. Well, yeah, forced is another way of saying the only move, isn't it? Yeah, he blundered. I think. Rook e7, bishop d6, rook e1, check. Might be his best option there. Sacrificing the queen. The queen. I did not discuss Blunderfest between the world champions. No problem at all. But I mean, you know, who's surprised by Blunderfest? In Rapid Blitz. I mean, honestly, I play games where the center pawn loss is like 10. And sometimes I play games where the center pawn loss is like 80. For Magnus Carlsen and others, I mean, if it's not a classical game, I feel like there's still a good chance that there'll be a lot of mistakes. That's why I don't really like fast time controls. I feel like the quality of the game is diminished. Queen f8. Alright guys, last game. Arsenal. Arsenal's rematch. Only VIPs can get 2 games per stream. Arsenal. You have to pay for your VIP here. Actually, only players who play for our team. Botvinnik is one of my favorite players. I definitely studied like all of his games. 100 selected games. But he's also influenced me through other players. He would be in my top 10. What is this? We're playing the Coffee House Taxi Driver variation. No, it's actually a normal sort of pseudo advanced French. I don't have a clue what I'm doing in this. Alright, we'll play the French. Whatever. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. F4. Whoa. So Botvinnik was... He was forgiving. Yeah, I'm not that bad, like Roman. But I never really felt any inclination to make up with him. Super pawn. Guys, Schieberspieler's gonna spiel after this. He's gonna start spieling with the Schieberspieler spiel stream. Spielplatz. I remember going to the European Poker Tour in Berlin. That was the name of the casino. What was it? What's the name? Does anybody know Berlin? Something like Spielplatz. Super bishop. You're gonna save that? Sladgie's schedule. Orifices. No. Cheating. Cheating scandal. I don't accept people who, as my friends, people who condone cheating and the arranging of games. No, he was advisor to a cheater and condoned it. One of his students that had a direct effect on me. I mean, it's pretty bad when you call your coach and you ask them like how much you should sell your game for, I had it from a very reliable source. They're like talking on the phone during the game about how much his student should sell his game for. That's enough for me, I can't live with that, working with someone who's got that kind of level of morality. But that's a very old story. Arsenal fan. Damn. Holding that d4 pawn for hostage. Do you think a good coach is available for his student to call up and be there 24/7 to debate how much they should charge for selling a game? Do you think a lot of GMs throw games to IMs for money? Well, it's not so much. I think money tournaments, you're talking about. But I imagine I've only seen maybe one instance of someone throwing a game for someone to get a title. Honestly. Blatantly. And even that was not that blatant. You kind of had to know the situation. It doesn't happen that often. I would think in prize tournaments it's much more common. Of course it happens. But I mean, in the case that I'm talking about, I was directly affected by it. Not only was it immoral, but it cost me a prize. So I was through the roof angry when this thing happened years ago. It's wrong on the basic level. But it's even more wrong when you're costing me hundreds of dollars. I would have been pretty pissed about it in general. And it was done very blatantly. But I never reveal who did it. It's water under the bridge. Feels like a standard French here. Uh-oh. You have some tricks? Balkush is here. Long time no see. I had technical issues. You had technical issues for a long time? You gotta be careful. The ever dangerous Arsenal fan. Well, people buy titles, sure. I don't know that commonly. I've never seen it happen very often. I've only heard rumors and seen very rare cases where I suspected someone. But as I said, I think the cheating is much more common in last rounds of tournaments for big prizes and stuff like that. If you've got a lot of money on the line, I mean, cheating is going to be happening. You know, interestingly, it never occurred in any situations in my games. I was never offered any sort of illegal deals. I never offered anyone any illegal deal. But I was in a couple situations where people could have offered me to sell a game, and they never did, which is a good sign. And like 2 times I played for first place in the World Open, I could have tied for first. In either case, my opponent could have tried to cheat by offering me a prize or a deal or something. In both cases, the irony was that in both cases, we were honest, and in both cases, the game was a draw, and nobody tied for first. Which is like, if we were out for money, I mean, I had a game once against Udasin and once against Kashishvili in the last round of the World Open, both cases where either of us could have won thousands and thousands of dollars. In both cases, the games were drawn, and nobody won much. Udasin was such a good sport. He even like wanted to analyze the game afterwards, like nothing had happened. You know, he didn't just not. He almost won $5,000, but just like didn't care. He's a really unique person, though, and also a former candidate for the World Championship. He's a great guy. Not a lot of people with Udasin's integrity. A lot of other players would have like offered a deal or something. Arsenal just is relentless. So there's only two times I ever found myself in a big open with a chance to win a huge prize. Well, in the third case, I actually won. That's actually true. I didn't count that one. So the time when I tied for first in Foxwoods, I beat Yermolinsky in the last round, and he also, of course, was honest. All cases, I've never had anyone offer to cheat or sell a game or buy a game, which is a good sign. Arsenal, you still have 4 minutes left? How do you have so much time? No, these are not European tournaments, man. These are American tournaments I'm talking about. I don't play much in Europe, in fact. I mean, I haven't played that much chess. This is going back, you know, when I used to play in bigger prize tournaments in the United States. I'm talking about American tournaments. Unfortunately, I never really played that many big tournaments here in Europe. Almost any, actually. I started playing poker, and I mean, I can't ever think of anybody. Yeah, the guy who does Russian schoolboy. I mean, Alex Yermolinsky is pretty honest. Udasin's really honest. All the people that I faced, Kashishvili. But there's a lot of sleazier players I could have played in those situations who would have offered like to sell or buy a game. I'm sure it happens all the time. But anybody who says like the Russian players always cheat or something, I mean, that's Bobby Fischer nonsense. You can't like generalize based on people's nationalities. All of my opponents were Russian or Soviet-born players, and nobody ever offered me a deal. And none of them beat me. Udasin Kashvili and Yermo have a total of 2 draws and a loss in big money games against me, where neither side ever offered anything. All strong grandmasters. But I play well when I'm motivated. Rook takes e4 was the original idea. But I thought this is better. No, I think this is better. I mean, rook takes d4 doesn't threaten anything with check. Now I'm on his rook. I'm on the knight. I missed this move entirely. It's like saying all English eat fish and chips. Do I like billiard? I used to play billiards just for fun, but I suck. It's not clear if I'm worse at billiards or backgammon. I suck at both. Slightly less so when I'm drunk. I played billiards with Grishuk once, strangely. But I was really, really drunk. I can't barely remember. What am I doing here? No, I don't know him that well. He's a friend of a friend of mine. I didn't really get to talk to him. I just remember being really drunk. Alright, man, it's enough. I guess this is a draw. I thought you might be winning, though, if you don't play knight takes c3 check. I mean, knight takes c3. Yeah, I thought so. You're actually winning. This is a blunder. Shit, I missed rook f1 entirely. So rook f3 was good. What was your suggestion, Schieberspieler? Queen a3? That also works. But I was about to flag here. I had 7 seconds left to play rook c3. It loses. I mean, rook f1 never occurred to me. It's pretty freaking obvious. So what, king g3? And then queen a3 check. Ugh. It's totally over. I tricked you into playing the advanced French. You gotta think about your move order, man. I mean, the c3 Sicilian. You gotta play the advanced French, I guess. But this is a weird move. Why are you playing e5? Alright guys, check out Schieberspieler's stream. We'll be back later. Tomorrow, that is. I have to set up the tournament. We're going to play Blitz, I guess, this week. Tomorrow night. Check out the Schieberspieler. If I can type it in, I'll raid him. Take care, everybody. I can't raid you till you start your stream. Alright guys, I'm gonna sign off. Or maybe not. We'll leave it up till Schieberspieler gets his stream started. Thanks everybody in advance for tuning in. Don't leave. Tuesday night Blitz tournament. Pawn the team. Stay tuned while we wait for the raid to take place. Still live, guys. We're closing down the stream. Just waiting.